So if you don't know, now you know. So hi everyone, welcome back to another trade breakdown. So this is an entry I took today, but before we go into that, I want to first go through an entry I had pointed out yesterday. As if you could go back to the video I posted on the 21st of September, you'll notice that I indicated that this particular region had a relatively high probability of going up, but this is primarily based on my strategy. So my strategy, I basically have a take profit of around 10 pips and a risk to reward ratio of around 1 to 2. So usually if the RR is anything less than 1 to 2, I usually don't take it. For best case, I prefer 1 to 3, but I usually settle for a 1 to 2. So yeah, so let's go through this. So yeah, so this particular entry actually played out for 10 pips. Unfortunately, it was a 1.64 RR, so I did not take this trade. It does not meet my criteria. So in the morning, I had actually seen this entry. So there wasn't any news in the morning. So how I was able to identify this trade one, I had noticed that we had a minor break of structure at this particular point, with an impulsive bullish candle going to the upside, forming this order block at the base. But you also notice that we had a fair value gap in this particular area. So this would be on the 5-minute, and so I've actually noticed in a couple of instances, in a couple of instances, and I'll actually show you another scenario. I actually saw this. So for certain fair value gaps, they are not always filled out completely. So as you can see, there's a slight gap at this particular point from this week to this one. A really small gap. So usually the market comes up, comes down, then keeps on going up. So this is another example of such an entry. And I also saw it around here. So as in basically literally the same thing. So the market comes, has a minor pullback, then continues going up with an impulsive move, leaving a fair value gap behind. The market slightly retraces into that fair value gap, then keeps on going. So this is something I've actually noticed, and I want to see if I would actually be able to spot it more times. But yes, so this entry I did not take it. I had seen it in the morning. I marked it up, as you can actually see, but I never took the actual trade, but it actually played out. So for today, so I started looking for entries around New York Open. I didn't necessarily see anything interesting, but around 2 hours past New York Open, this is 6 p.m. my time, I saw that we had a minor break of structure in this particular area, forming an order block, and I took my entry. So my entry was around here. I had a take profit of 10 pips and a stop loss of 49 pips, but unfortunately, my stop loss was a bit too tight. I had anticipated that the market would play out as earlier indicated, because we have a fair value gap at this particular point from here to around here. So I had actually thought the market would come all the way here, have a minor pullback at this particular region, then keep on dropping. But unfortunately, that did not play out. Oh, it actually played out, but my stop was a bit too tight. So if had I increased my stop by 5 pips, I would have been in the clear. But yeah, we live and we learn, and I hope you learn from my mistakes. Today's video is going to be relatively shorter than the one I posted yesterday, but yeah, in case you have any questions, or maybe you have anything that you probably need to point out, anything that you'd want me to check on, feel free. There's a link to our WhatsApp group on my bio. But we have a couple of really enthusiastic traders over there, so if you want to join us, you're always welcome. Primarily ICT members, and it would even be better if you only trade Audi USD, because I will only be sharing breakdowns of Audi USD, because that's the only pair I trade. So thank you, and hope to see you next time. Cheers.